We killed it. So yeah. We ate. Look at that. How you can catch, how we catch the light with like, it's amazing. I could look at this face of mine all day because what? Like no, you guys, like what the freak? Like, look at that. That lip. Baby, we should win an Oscar for this lip. The lip alone eats. Like, girl, what are you saying? The lip alone, it's amazing. This is a Pop of Color series, and we get intense. We get into detail, and we get a beauty on a budget. So if you want to participate, all are welcome here. Come get your smoke. To my bed, with hopes that maybe I'll get a chance to see you when I close my eyes. I'm going out of my head, lost in the bed. You know you want the look. So a pop-up color is about to start. If you're ready, go get your stuff. I'll be waiting for you. There is nothing that you have not bought that you cannot use, okay? You got stuff in there, girl. Go get something. You can work with it. Even if you're not having the same color as I am, go get some stuff. Let's do some makeup. Let's sit down. Put me on the background while you clean up, and I'll just let you know what we're doing in detail. So while you're doing your thing, you can still hear me in the background, and you can always go out with your face card on approved, okay? Instead of waiting for somebody to come around and do it for you, I'm going to teach you how to get these glamorous looks yourself. So a pop of color is about to start. Go get your stuff. I love to keep it bushy and thick, okay? So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to comb them up so I can get the gist of the shape. I just shaped my eyebrows up. As you can see, they looking a little snatchish. So what I want to do is go in with my pomade to do a little bit of shaping first, okay? So as I told you guys, I love to use some sort of paintbrush when I'm doing my eyes. And if I didn't tell you that, I'm telling you it now. So yeah, I like to use some type of paintbrush when it comes to my eyes. So I'm going to dip into my favorite pomade just a couple times. I pulse my brush on that, and I'm going to get a small handheld mirror so we can get this and get it rolling. So first I'm going to come in the front area. I like to just brush a few strokes of hair in the front here. Then I like to just trace over top of my brow, not going outside of the shape it already has. And as I come here, I thicken the back of my brow here a little bit, and at the top, just to give it some more body where it's a little thin at. And it will start to look just like a nice full thick brow. And I'll come in the beginning again, and I'll start to make those hair-like strokes here just to fill in the front, go to the bottom, and brush that through, right? So I'm going to grab my spoolie again, and I'm going to start to brush this up before we start on the second eye, because you can see as it's starting to shape, it looks amazing. I'm just going to comb it into the shape that I love, and that looks amazing for me. I think that's a good place to start because I don't want it to make it so thick. And I'm going to hop to this other eye. I'm just going to pulse inside of my pomade again, and I'm going to flick some hair-like strokes there. This is like one of the easiest ways for me to do my brows too. And then I'll just trace it inside of the brow Trying not to lose that shape that it already has. Just making it a little thicker on the back end, as I did on the same one. And you want to make sure they're both even in the front. And I'm pretty sure you're going to have a little bit of cleanup to do. That's fine. But try to get them as close to each other as possible. So that's looking good. And I'm going to start to brush this one up into the brow. And I'm going to move that pigment further back. Right? And some people say they love to get their makeup done because it gives them that courage. It gives them that confidence they need to take on the day. And I can understand that, because it's like sometimes when I'm in the gym, I do have makeup on, and it's like, even though I'm going to sweat it off, it's like it makes me feel better. It makes me feel whole. So I understand that part of beauty. I just don't like to use it to cover up my unique assets, because the world says it's a blemish, or the world labels it as something else, and they try to make you feel like you have to then adapt your look to be acceptable. So yeah, it's a very, very tricky topic, but I understand when people say it brings confidence to them to get things done during the day. So the first concealer I'm going to go in with our cleanup is the e.l.f. Hydro Camo Concealer. And what I like to do with this one is just go on the back near my thumb with a little bit of that pigment. And I'm going to also use this as a highlighter, so I use a little bit more than I would usually use. I like to do my brow editing with this brush sometimes, and I'm going to show you why. Because it just has like such a straight edge on it. You can just press like that, and then you can just slide it back without making it really messy. And then I'll take that color to the rim of that brow and just shape it as I see fit, and then I'll use the rest of this color for shadow prep, right? So that's why we did it so thick today. We're going to use this as a primer for my shadow base, and that's how I usually like to clean up under the brow. I'm going to continue on this side just the same way. Press, 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 and then as I get further back to this part, I just slide it under where I need it and bring it down to that point, and then I turn it this way, flatten the concealer out so it can make for a better blend. And then I'm just gonna add the rest of this here where I'm going to have my highlight, right? And we'll let that dry down for now, right? So while I have the floor, I'm going to grab me a fluffy brush like this one, and I like to start to blend out right away. I don't really have to give it too much time to dry down because this is a hydrating concealer, so you can start to work on this right away and it gives you that skin-like finish. And I'm also going to add a bit of shadow to this. As you all know my trick, I don't like to use setting powder on my concealer on my eyes because I feel like it makes it heavy, a little too heavy. So I like to set my concealers that I do my eyebrow maintenance with. I like to set that with a eyeshadow because the eyeshadow just works better for me, and it's more easy to move with than a powder that will sit and actually absorb some of the product. You understand what I'm saying? So it makes it for a way better type of application. I believe that. I really do. And as you can see, it's smooth. You see how smooth that is, and you still see the texture of my skin, which I love. I don't like to cover up everything. You understand what I'm saying? So here I'm going to go and I'm going to do this the same way. And as you can see, it came out perfectly outlined under that brow. And now all you have to do is make this one identical to that one. So it is a tedious job. You have to be patient when you're doing your brows. The Pop of Color series basically was to teach you all how to do a flawless base every time and to add a pop of color on the eyes. The eyes being my main focus of any look. I love to use the eyes as my focal point because I think that's like one of the sexiest ways to do the makeup. Now I'm just going to stipple this out a little bit further so we can clean up on top, but not so much close to the brow. But I do like to use this little excess just to brighten it up a bit on top. That is, I believe, is a smart hack that I do because it brings out the color more of the brow, and it plays well when you put the bronzer there. Okay, so just want to keep stippling out. First, I like to blend out the middle, and then I like to blend out the edges, because if you blend out the middle first, you'll see how far you can go from there. You know what I mean? So that looks amazing. And I tell you guys, my eyes, around my eyes, happen to be the lightest part of my body. I know a lot of people suffer with dark circles and things, but my eyes happen to be like one of the lightest parts on my body and my forehead. So I always have to use at least 3 shades to get my perfect skin tone complexion. And that's because my parents are like really light skinned and I'm just like dark. I'm the darkest one of their kids. Like, I'm the darkest shade out of my siblings. I have the darkest skin tone complexion. So it's like I have body tint skin tone as well. You can see it in my lips also. The pigment of my lips. I have light lips, but I do have some darker areas. My mom and dad are both like light skin, and I am, like I said, the darkest one of my siblings, except for my older sister, but we don't share the same dad, which is the reason why she is the color she is. Her dad is brown skin, so yeah, it's about that. But yeah, out of my parents, I am their darkest child. So I'm going to comb them just to check them. They look fierce before we put any shadow on them. I just want to comb them up. And if you were wondering where I am located, I am DMV based makeup artist, self-taught. I do a damn good job. And yeah, if you are looking for a makeup artist in the DMV area, you can hit me up in my DMs. I do take appointments. I also travel as well, and I'm always accepting new clients because I get a lot of messages via DM about people asking me, am I still accepting clients and where am I located? So that was the reason why I said what I just said. Yes, I do makeup. That is my bread and butter. I love makeup, so I dibble and dabble. Okay, and I'm just flattening everything before we add the shadow, making sure everything is very flat and very settled. That looks amazing. That looks amazing. And no, I did not use a primer today, but I did do my skincare only because I am a girly that rather put makeup on top of their skincare because it acts as a primer anyway, right? So I'm going to go right into an eye palette that I have here. It's a brown palette that I've been wanting to use. It's like an old school little brown palette. It's amazing. So this is how it looks. These are the colors that we're going to use on the eye today because if you can see, they have a little bit of a glitter shine to them. And this is like one of my favorite things because it also comes with a mirror too. So it's really cute. I love to take this on a travel day and like have this in my purse. It's like one of my favorites. So I had just pulled this out of my vault just so I can show you guys. But I'm going to show you how I do my eyeshadow combo with this. So first thing I take is the lightest color. Stipple that. And I like to use this to come right under my brow. And you can see how that just brightened it up amazingly. And I'm going to use that to highlight my brow bone, right? Then I'm going to come in next with this darker color, but we're only going to do this dark color right here. Tapping that just right here. And I just want you to tap that right there. Right? Just like that. And then I'm going to come in with this rich brown. And I'm going to start to stipple this back or blend it back towards the darker brown. And then I'll further combine those two so I can get a smoky, nice smoky subtle brown eye with definition. And this pop of color I'm showing you guys right away. The eye work, usually I do the eye work off of camera, but I was told by a very wise woman that it would be good for me to do the process on camera sometimes. So that's what I'm giving you guys today. And I'm just going to pop a little bit more of this rich brown into the crease. And we're going to blend that out. And as you can see, it's just a nice everyday pop of color on the eye. It's very neutral, very subtle, very smoky-like. So that's how I do a nice smoky eye on myself with a bit of shimmer. So that's how that's going to look on that side. I'm going to just dust this off, and I'm going to go back into that lighter gold color. This is nice, this tannish gold, and I'm going to stipple that under the brow again. And some people like to do whatever they do to one brow, they like to do it to the other brow, but I used to be like that. But I learned, like, when you go out of the norm, sometimes it's fun. Like, when you don't do what you normally do, it makes for a whole nother look. You know what I mean? So I just want to make sure that smokiness is actually coming through like I want it to. So I'm just going to add a little bit more there. That speaks better value. So now I'm going to get that rich brown again. And this trio is very, very nice. So I'm going to start to rock first in the front, and then I blend towards the back, stippling it here and then blending more. And this makes it more cohesive. The colors play well together when you do this, and it just fades into one another. And that's another reason why I like to do this one. And this is like a nice, let's go out for champagne and wine type of look with the girls. This is a nice date night eye. A nice sultry, sophisticated eye. I'm just gonna swipe a little bit of that rich brown across so we can get the gist of that pigment. Do you see that, girls? Is that not gorge? So now let's go get into a little bit of my complexion and really do her in, because I do want to do a nice complexion for you guys today. So today I'm going to do a mixture of two of my favorite complexion products. I'm going to do the Revlon Color Stay, and this one I'm going to use as my base, and I'm going to come on top just with a little bit of my glaze skin tint for a little bit of dewiness and more of a buttery finish. This will give me a natural matte finish. So let's do this one first. And the way I like to use this is to just pump it on the back of my hand like that. Forgive me for it being so messy. It is very messy, but at least they have a pump. I can say that at least they do have a pump. I'm going to use this face brush today, so I'm just going to stipple into this color on the back of my hand like that, girls. And I'm going to come into my problem areas first. And I have been using a foundation first, just so it helps me not to have to color correct all the times, because as I see my skin, it's actually evening out. My tone has evened out a lot from what it past looked like, what it used to look like. But yeah, It looks amazing today, so I was like, no need to color correct. I'm just gonna go right in with my foundation. And I like to focus my foundation on the outskirts of my face first, and then I'll move in towards the middle when I feel like, you know what I mean, I've got all the problem areas that I need to get. And I love how this covers my larger pores. As you'll see, they'll start to disappear. And I just hold it there for a minute, and it just sinks right into there, and it looks so gorgeous. So I'm going to finish applying my foundation until it's even. And me, I don't use much foundation when I do use foundation, but when I do use it, I know that less is more. And that is not a lie. That happens to be the truth for everybody. Less is more. Because if you can spread it and shear it out, it makes it look really like your skin. Okay? So that looks amazing. Amazing. So now that we've done that, and the face is looking better, right? Not complete as complete yet. I'm now going to go in and do my skin tint. This is how I usually do it. I just spot where I want to put that, and where I really want to focus that glow and that dewiness, because that's what we're looking for with this. This gives amazing dewy coverage without looking too wet. And then it's SPF, so we're winning. Like, we're really winning. But I'm not going to use this brush per se. I'm going to switch into a dual complexion brush, because I like to blend this out with a more fluffier shearer brush. And this will really help me spread the product and get more use out of it. Make the skin look more even. You know what I mean? More hydrated. And it's going to mix well with that matte coverage. That looks delish. That looks delicious. I like that. So, we're definitely loving this. When I get here to my smile lines, I like to flip into the littler side, and I like to just stipple back and forth. Here and here. And then I'll drag it across the nose, because this is the part where people usually have makeup caked up at, or they have a lot of bumps here because they just let their makeup sit there. You know what I mean? No, you're gonna suffocate your pores. So you just go in with a little stippling with a tiny detail brush, and that will clear that all up. Now let's get up here and shear these babies out. Get those cheeks popping, and everything looks flawless. Everything looks flawless and opaque. And for my men, you guys can do this too. And I want my men to take care of themselves better and start to go to the clinic and get their checkouts and everything, because nobody talks about this in the black community, but the men are kings. You know what I mean? And you guys have to start treating yourself like one. I understand it's scary sometimes going to go deal with those appointments when you are living those wild lifestyles, but if you want to live longer, you need to go see about yourself. So make sure you guys are getting your checkups done. Make sure you guys are getting your HIV and STD test done. If you're sexually active, if you have more than one sexual partner, you know what I mean? And it's not me being shady. It's just me wanting you guys to live longer, and just wanting to encourage you guys to do better with your bodies, because I've been there and I've done that, and guess what? The more you take care of you, the better you are going to feel. You don't have to let nobody know your business. You don't have to let nobody go to the doctors with you Or if you want somebody to go, get a good friend to go with you, because that's what will help you not to be so scared. Get somebody who's in your corner, who you know is going to really travel with you and cherish your privacy. Because, yeah, the odds are stacked against us nowadays, but guess what? We keep coming out on top. So, obviously, God has got our backs. Obviously, we're doing something right. You know what I mean? Look at that. Amazing. And this pop of color series was a little bit out of the norm, but this look still came out immaculate. I love the eye work. I love the shimmer. I love it. The depth, it's amazing. So let's get into some chiseling of this beautiful face of mine. So what I'm going to do is get my bronzing stick, and I'm going to carefully mark my nose where I usually bronze at and things, and where I put definition at. And you really have to be patient but strategic when you're doing this, and get you something that will glide, that won't disrupt your makeup. Like, this never takes off any makeup. I noticed that. Get you something that doesn't take any of your makeup off and that will blend easily and creamy. Okay. Bam. Right? Before we blend this out, I usually like to spray a little of my NK makeup perfection setting spray. You just gotta shake it up. It's a 2-in-1, so sometimes I do use this as a primer. So I just like to spray that on the entire face. It doesn't mess with the eye makeup. It will actually make it last longer throughout the day. And I'm telling you that from experience. I know this. So let's go right into blending out our bronzing. And I take this all the way to the ear here. And while this is drying down, I'm just going to blend out my bronzer so it can have that light glow to it. It just melts right into the skin, and it gives a beautiful hue, and it adds that depth. I love that about this. I love that about this bronzing stick, foundation stick. It's actually a foundation stick, but I get it in my bronzing color, which is espresso, and it works as a bronzer and a contour stick when I need it to. This is amazing. But yeah, this is the Black Radiance foundation stick. I love this stick. It's amazing. It's very versatile. It's very nice on the skin. It wears nice, and it blends out like magic. So I'm going to blend here now, and across my makeup on the forehead. And I'm gonna just buff it into the hairline. And this makes your forehead look smaller. If you have a larger forehead, this will make your forehead look very small. You know what I mean? So now I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna get this part. And yes, we're gonna do a little blushing work today. I have a satin lipstick that I've been using for blush from Absolute New York. I do have blushes, but this lipstick that I've been using is amazing. I'm going to show you guys. It's from Absolute New York. It's a satin lipstick, and I love the way it lasts and wears throughout the day. I love the color of it, and I thought it was a satin blush stick, but when I picked it up, it was in the wrong space in the store when I bought it. So it was actually a lip product. But as you know, you can use rouge as blush, right? So I'm going to show you guys how I like to use a blush rouge. Okay, so I'm gonna just blur that out. And then I'm gonna grab a smaller brush to further blend this masterpiece to the side. That looks amazing, you guys. That is the bee's knees, right? And make sure you're blending this out. We don't want to see any harsh lines on the nose. Get that tip and do your stuff. And I like to come up here with this brush also because it blends so softly. You just blend that out in a couple strokes without damaging any of your eye makeup. And that's why I love this brush from e.l.f. This is a sculpting brush from e.l.f. They have a longer side and they have a short side. So either way, you can get into those creases and those curves. That's amazing. And then I like to just stipple here to make sure everything is flat as possible. Get around these brows with this as well, just to add a little bit of color. And it lifts. Now, I want to also do a bronzing around the lip. And you see how that just made it so pouty? Amazing. Amazing. Just with the access there. That was amazing. That looks great. So far, so good. So I'm going to go into this bad boy. This is the one I've been talking about. It's a satin rouge stick. And I do this like this. I go to my apples of my cheeks. And I like to just twist it there like that, like, and just press and twist, and it doesn't take my makeup off either. See, it doesn't take your makeup off. It just press and twist just like that. And I've been loving this just for a touch of color. It's been so good. So I'm going to take this one and I'm just going to start to blend that out there, just stippling that out there. And it gives that subtle glow. Like just right there. That's all you need. That's all you need. And I just focus it right there in that spot. And this has been like winning everybody over when I do my blush. They like, you do your blush so cute. It's because I'm so precise with it. I think that's why it's come out so good. I'm so precise with it now. So you see how that is just like sits there so pretty. And then I just take any residue across the nose and at the bottom, and it looks just amazing. Remember I told you hit the side of your brush to the eyes and it will flatten it just like that, just like that. I think that looks amazing. Yeah, that looks amazing. This really came out so good. I'm going to add a little bit of shimmer. So I'm cleaning up at the bottom of my eye. That's why I'm stippling here. Because I'm going to add a little bit of shimmer. And I don't want anything to take away from the shimmer. Not even a little bit of excess concealer. Understand? So now that they're flat, I'm going to grab me a nice smudge brush. And I'm going back into this palette. Just because It's a good palette. And I'm going to go right into this brown right here at the bottom, this one. And I'm just going to focus that on my iPad right here, you guys. And just focus it right there. Smudge it out. Lightly smudge it out. You know, lightly smudge it out. And it makes for like a more youthful eye. Then I'm going to come up here in this gold section and I'm going to touch that more closer to the inside of the eye. Like right there, just to give me that baby soft glow. Do that again, and we're going to focus this one on the outside of the eye, just so we can have a little bit of pick me up. Oh, that's amazing. That looks great. I like that. I like that a lot. Then I'm going to come in with one of my powder puffs. I usually put my powder puffs in there. I think I put them all away because I've been being a little bit more organized. Yep, I put them all away. I'm going to grab my powder puff, and I like to do this at the end with my Nicka K cream to powder foundation. This is amazing. So I go in with my powder puff, and I just come under the eyes just to lighten it up because this is a little bit lighter. And I use that to do my under eye work. So fade into that blush. Really pretty. You still see that pop of that red. That looks so gorgeous. Look how that, it lightens you up like you use the pressed powder. And remember I told you girls, I don't like to use a lot of powders around my eyes. So this has been helping me out with that problem. Oh, that's amazing. So yeah, we're gonna go into this and do the next eye. And I love this mirror too. So I come under there and just pat that cream to powder. And I want to blend it into that blush. That subtle hit of blush. You can still see it a little bit. But I'm going to add just a little bit more of that lighter, pinkier tone that I used on my last video. Just to top it off a bit. Just to top it off. Then we'll have like a little glow to the cheeks. Going to use this brush. And I love a pale pink blush on my skin complexion because it's so pretty. It makes it look natural, really natural. That is good for me. Yep, just like a dewy flush. Then it brought the red back out, just like a mauve tone. And it's really going to brighten up when you get into the sunlight. But I love a subtle pink on the cheeks of a brown girl because that's what makes a person second guess, like, is it something there or is it not? Because it looks so flawless. You know what I mean? So, oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So this is the final look, girls. I had so much fun with you guys, and I think we came out with a banger. So there she is. And I think we're gonna have to do a part 2 to this look because it came out so good. I want to do this eye look with more of a purple blush and see how that comes out too. I've been wanting to try a purple blush for a minute now. So the next thing we'll do is a purple blush. We killed it. I love that subtle, cheeky moment, just kissed by the sun. It's amazing. I'm going to do a little bit of Obsession. Because I'm obsessed. Right? And the lip oil I'm going to do is the pH changing lip oil from Beauty Creations as well. And I've been trying to get done with this so I can go get another one. Right? And I love that. That's amazing. I think that's look good, really good. Really top notch, really, really good. So that's the look for today. I hope you guys have fun with me. Let's do this again soon.